everyone. Thank you for joining us on Campus Connect Forecast. We have a winter weather update for you. Right now we're seeing those snow showers starting to build across into North Mississippi, and those pinks and purples, that's a mixture of sleet and freezing rain. And right now in Starkville, we have a heavy batch of rain that just moved through. There was reports of some sleet in that heavy rain, but most of it was just rain at this hour, and we're going to continue to see that freezing line shift further south as we get through the evening, and closer to midnight is when we really expect things to ramp up for us here in Oktibbeha County at Mississippi State. And we are under a winter storm warning. And what does that mean for us? We are going to see a higher amount of freezing rain, so expecting higher amounts of accumulating ice, which is very dangerous. And then we could also see on top of that an inch or two of sleet and snow, very impassable roads. And this is why other areas are in winter weather advisories, because they're not expecting to see as much ice as we are, especially to the north. They're just expecting more of a snow event, and further south, more just an ice event, but not as much ice as we are expecting to see. So we're kind of in the thick of it compared to everyone else. And right now, looking into the junction, you can see those roads are wet, very wet right now. And once we get to that freezing mark, those roads are going to start to freeze up and ice up, and it could be make for a very dangerous and tricky situation. Right now, we're coming in at 36 degrees, and it is raining. We just had that heavy batch of rain move through Starkville in the past hour. And temperatures, you can see where that cold air is coming. Clarksdale, Mississippi, 27 degrees. So that cold air is definitely coming this way, and it's going to make a mess. And this is what we're expecting. Mostly snow to our north, and to the south, mostly a freezing rain, sleet mixture. Now, there could certainly be places that in this freezing rain area that see snow on top of the ice, but our biggest concern is that freezing rain, because honestly, you just can't drive on it, and it can cause power outages as well. And our high-res predictor showing that snow and freezing rain and sleet coming in, and by midnight, this is when we're expecting that freezing line to be knocking on our doorstep. And once we move through by about 4 a.m., we're going to be in the thick of things, all freezing rain event, maybe even some sleet, and again, off to our north, mostly snow. So it's a very tricky situation, very tricky forecast. And as we move through the overnight into the morning hours, 8 a.m., hopefully you won't be going anywhere. Mississippi State has canceled all classes for tomorrow, and rightfully so. We're expected to be in that snow by 8 a.m., so again, freezing rain and then snow on top of it. Very dangerous situation, but things clear out for the afternoon, and then there's a possible another round 2 for Wednesday. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's get through this first batch of winter precip. So be prepared. If you aren't already prepared, I hope you already are, because it's kind of getting a little bit too late to go to the grocery stores. A lot of the grocery stores have already been cleared out of bread and milk and eggs. So I hope you have the essentials ready for you, and maybe even candles for possible power outages. Very hazardous travel. I can't stress this enough. If we get a lot of freezing rain like we are expecting, it will be impossible to drive on those roadways. So a lot of schools and works have already gone ahead and canceled for tomorrow. And with all that freezing rain building up on power lines as well as tree branches, that's going to be the biggest concern. When we have a lot of that ice building up on the tree branches, they'll break, fall, and hit the power lines, and that could cause power outages. So tonight, again, we're expecting a low of 27, and once we get to around midnight, that's when we're expecting that 32-degree line to come in, and this is when things get tricky. 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of ice. If we get to that 1/4 of an inch of ice, we can certainly see some sporadic power outages, but we're giving tonight a 100% chance of freezing rain and sleet, so a very messy situation. Tomorrow is not looking any better, only expecting a high of 33, and that high of 33 may only last for an hour or so, and so any melting that does happen, it's just going to refreeze again, but we still have to get through that sleet, snow, ice mix throughout the morning hours, because it's going to move out by the afternoon. And so the 2-day forecast, Tuesday is still very tricky. Wednesday, we're not quite sure, but there certainly could be. There's the potential for another round of winter weather. We're not quite sure how that's going to set up, but it's certainly something we are watching for you. And your 7-day forecast, things are looking so much better once we get to Thursday, well above freezing. The sun is out. Any of that ice or snow we had is going to start melting, and it's going to be a thing of the past by Friday for Valentine's Day, and the weekend, gorgeous into the 60s.